When and how did you first start playing the violin? You are classically trained, is that correct?
I am. I actually started. I'm gonna age myself here. I started with PBS. They had the Boston Pops Orchestra, and they were playing Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, and I thought that was just the coolest thing ever. So I grabbed a Dr. Seuss book and a wooden ruler, and I pretended to play along. It took about 6 months of begging, and my parents went ahead and got me this little pawn shop violin and got me lessons, and it's all been uphill from there.
What was it about the violin out of the all of the so many instruments in an orchestra? Beethoven's Fifth is like, I don't know how many instruments, but a lot. What was it about the violin in particular that attracted you?
I mean, I don't know. I know that I really liked the style, like how they held the instrument. I loved everything about it, and of course, I knew I would never play a viola. But
Wait, is there like viola snobbery in the violin community? What am I missing out on here? Is this like an East Coast, West Coast rap thing?
maybe, possibly. I mean, it's pretty true though. Like the one guaranteed way to make sure your violin never gets stolen is to put it in a viola case.
Wow.
It is.
All right. Okay.
But yeah,
So you started taking lessons? Like, how did you start getting good at it?
yes, I started taking lessons. I had private lessons for several years. I quit playing for probably, I don't know, 6 months, maybe less. I stopped playing for a while because my teacher stopped teaching. But then I ended up going to orchestra in school and resuming lessons. And I was the only sixth grader amongst seventh and eighth graders because they put me in advanced orchestra. So they hated me. But and then I ended up going with another teacher who was part of the Philharmonic. And when I became a teenager, I became interested in fiddling. So my parents were like, "Oh, really? You want to do fiddling? Okay, let's do that." So my mom and my dad both worked overtime to keep me in two different kinds of lessons. I was still taking classical. I was playing an orchestra, two different orchestras, and then I was taking fiddle lessons and doing contest fiddling. So I was a busy teenager.
What is the difference between playing the violin and playing the fiddle? Is it the same instrument, but you just play it in a different way?
Yes, it's
Okay.
a completely different style. Fiddling is generally a lot looser, whereas classical, there's a form. You have to have form. You have to have your elbow a certain place and your hands, go certain ways. And it's a very specific way of playing. Whereas fiddling, it's more about, have fun, don't squeak kind of thing.
And
So
are
yeah,
you equally adept in both styles?
I like to think so. It's been a long time since I did true fiddling. But I would love to do it again, actually.
So
So
how good are you? I mean, have you played, and are you good enough to play in like a full symphony orchestra? Is that the level that you're at? I mean, obviously I hear you play and it's incredible, but I don't know what like the professional standards would be considered at.
I would. I played in orchestra for several years, and I was actually the youngest admitted to the Tulsa Youth Symphony for a long time. I was not too long ago beaten out, I believe, but I was 12 at the time. And so it's something I could do if it's something that I would want to do. Honestly, no. I love doing what I do more, which is crossover into other genres, and
How
that's where
many?
my heart.
How long have you been playing the violin?
Oof. I think this year is going to be 27 years.
And do you get to a point where you're like are you still learning? Are you still improving? Are you still like trying to get better even after all those years?
You never stop. I think every several times a week, I'll find something that I want to change or adjust, or people will ask questions that get me really thinking about, someone asked me, what do I do with this bow hold? And it makes me stop and reevaluate my bow hold because no matter how long you've been doing it, there's always, those moments where your wrist starts to sag a little bit and you have to remember to keep it straight, and there's always something to learn. There's a new style to try. That's the beauty of what I do is that there's always something new to add to it.